So you know how right now at this very moment there are heightened concerns regarding nuclear conflict with Russia? Well, that was also happening 70 years ago during the Cold War. People growing up from the 1950s to the 1980s remember the looming threat of nuclear war with the Soviets. Schools often had drills where students hid under thin wooden desks to shield them from the terrible power of the bombs. And despite its relatively remote location, Edmonton, Alberta was thought to be a likely target in the event of war with the Soviets. People who lived in Edmonton years ago will tell you that air raid sirens became common across the Edmonton area. The Canadian Civil Defence Museum and Archives has a wonderful website, civildefencemuseum.ca. And on the site, they have a map of all known Canadian Defence and National Survival Attack Warning System sirens that were located in and around Edmonton. And as you can see, they had them all over the place. In 1951, the Alberta government decided to build a reinforced concrete bunker in Edmonton to protect the Alberta Premier and his advisors in the event of war. And they decided on a location at 10320 146th Street. This is in the middle of the Grovenor neighborhood. Residents in the area petitioned against this, as this was a residential neighborhood and they didn't want the increased traffic a large complex would bring to this area. However, their efforts failed, and for $60,000, the Pool Construction Company received the contract to begin building the facility. The building was completed in February of 1952, and the opening ceremony was cancelled because of the death of King George VI. This is a quote from an Edmonton Journal article on February 6 of 1952. Quote, "In the event that Canada should be attacked by a foreign nation, the building on 146th Street now is designed to serve as coordination center for the province's defense efforts. A communications network centered at the new headquarters would keep key defense personnel appraised of developments in every corner of Alberta. From the Edmonton office would go directives to defense workers everywhere in the province. At times, the government would simulate an attack, with government officials reporting to the facility and going through drills in tandem with different cities across North America. But the building quickly fell out of use as a bomb shelter. It was largely impractical. Most of the facility was above ground, and it wasn't able to fully protect people from radiation. Over the years, the above ground portion of the building was substantially redeveloped and used by various government departments, and then by private companies. It currently houses the Terra Centre, which provides comprehensive services and supports to teen parents in the Edmonton area. I stopped by here the other day to check this building out, and a member of the staff was very gracious and showed me around the building. And this area in the basement used as a meeting room was the original bunker, and of course it's been redeveloped significantly. I was also shown the original boiler room, which is really cool to check out, and this area has essentially remained unchanged since its original construction. And so this provincial bunker was opened in 1952 for the Premier and various provincial government officials and staff. And so that's the story of this random office building in the middle of a residential neighborhood in West Edmonton. However, this building was known as the alternate headquarters because civil defense planning at the time called for 2 headquarters in every city in case one was disabled. The next year in 1953, another facility was built in Edmonton, not too far from this one. And this was actually the first Cold War bunker in Canada built as a fully equipped command center. And this one went way down into the ground. On the Canadian Civil Defence website, someone commented that when they were an Army cadet, they visited the bunker around 1978. And they said that there was a winding staircase that went down at least 10 stories, but as many as 20 stories. And this staircase led to this 2,600 square foot living facility. It was not designed to withstand a hit by a bomb, but it would protect people from fallout. And this facility was meant to house 36 people for 14 days. And it would act as an Edmonton command center in the event of war. The main entrance still stands at 142nd Street near the Mackenzie Ravine. This entrance has been fenced off for many years, and recently there have been additional fences put up. This area is being used by construction crews that are working on a big project in the Mackenzie Ravine. And then besides the main entrance, there's also a lower entrance in the ravine that has long been sealed off. I really wonder how many people have tried to get in here over the years. Fred Armbruster is the founder and executive director of the Canadian Civil Defence Museum Association that I mentioned earlier, and their website is just fantastic. I would highly recommend it. The city of Edmonton currently has this bunker on their list of historic properties, but there is no planned use for the site. Fred Armbruster is working to make this abandoned bunker into a museum highlighting Edmonton's civil defence history. Interestingly, in 2018, this Canadian Civil Defence Museum Association purchased unearthed a former Cold War radar tower in Alsace, Saskatchewan, near the Alberta-Saskatchewan border. This is a really interesting place that I want to cover in another video. Again, I would highly recommend going through the Canadian Civil Defence Museum website. It has a fantastic collection of documents that highlight Canada's civil defence history in different provinces. And they even have a copy of the Civil Defence Survival Instructions for the City of Edmonton, which provided direction to residents in the event of incoming bombs. And this was a really cool document to check out. And I'm going to finish off this video with a slideshow of some of the pictures that Fred Armbruster took when he was able to tour this Edmonton bunker in 2009. And of course, all these pictures were taken from the Canadian Civil Defence Museum and Archives website. I hope you found this one interesting and informative, and if you'd like to watch more of my content in general, please consider subscribing to my channel. I upload at least one new video per week. Thank you for watching, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Strange North channel.